to get started. We wanted to give everyone an opportunity to make it due to the weather. We heard there was an accident on one of the roadways, and so we wanted to be sure to give people some proper time to get here. Ladies first.
First and foremost, I would like to welcome every one of you here. Thank you for coming out in the inclement weather. Thank you for being the best Citizens Academy group I've ever met. You're the first, you're the only. You know, we talk about putting strategies together and making, systems work, but we couldn't have done this without you all. We really couldn't have. You don't know how valuable your input is. We only ask one thing, that you go back out into the communities in which you live and share not just your experience, but share what you took away from this. You got some lessons. I know you did. You had to, because we put a lot out there, and not to toot our horn, but I think we did pretty good. I want to thank the staff, DEA, New Orleans Field Division. And you will see the person who leads us tonight. He'll speak later, but we're grateful for him because he allows us to fly. He's the wind beneath our wings. So we get an opportunity to come out and do what we do because we are blessed to have good leadership, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm speaking for myself, and I pray everyone who's here with me, because I can say it. He's good for us. I love it. For Baton Rouge Police Department, in the absence of Mr. Murphy Paul, thank you guys for all that you've done and will continue to do, because the academy goes forward. They are having a fall class, and so you will see some of us. We will still continue to help them and support them in any way that we can, and we are ever grateful for that. I'm so happy to see Special Agent Singleton to come in on this one just as I'm finishing up my part. So, I can't do this. I couldn't have done this without, the people who guide and lead me. So I'm grateful to have Special Agent Singleton here to share a few words, and I'm going to get out the way.
Sorry I'm late, but I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you guys are graduating. Just quick things. We talked about things last week, but I just want you to remember something. Thought about this on the way here, that we are part of a community like you, okay? So we don't stay on a different planet or somewhere else, huddle up, and then come and do law enforcement work. We work in the community just like you, stay in the community and our families, so we want you to be safe. So I hope you enjoyed everything that we went through, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
So with that being said, we will next have Special Agent Anesso Daniels, who will take over the program from here. Thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. And I will piggyback off of Dr. Faulkner. You guys have been awesome. We appreciate you giving us the opportunity to speak to you, the opportunity to let you live a day like how we live every day. So thank you. So I'll just do a little bit of housekeeping. The bathrooms for the men, excuse me, the men is to the left. I'm sorry, to the right. The women's bathroom is to the left. Thank you. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Gino.
Again, I'm going to echo what Dr. Faulkner said, and along with Special Agent Brian Singleton. We appreciate you being here. I know that some of y'all came in with optimistic thoughts and mindset, but being able to get an inside look to what we do in our service to the community. There are issues that are out there in the community, and the relationship that we build between Baton Rouge Police Department, community leaders, our federal partners is very important in our actions to change the idea and the mindset of the youth that we're struggling with, because we have a lot of incidents that are happening with our youth in this community. So it's an outreach effort that we are partaking in together as a family. So you're our family. That's why we're having this graduation. That's why we had the Citizens Academy, to give individuals an insight to what is happening with the department, what is happening throughout the city, and our efforts in an attempt to change the mindset of the individuals who have doubt, the individuals who are struggling with issues in their life. Y'all are now our ambassadors. The ambassadors not only for the police department, ambassadors not only for the city of Baton Rouge, but you're ambassadors for your community and for yourselves. So again, we applaud you in your efforts to take a stand, to be part of the Citizens Academy, to be a difference in the Baton Rouge community, to be a difference in the surrounding area, and to be a difference in the state of Louisiana. Because we have one individual that's traveling from New Orleans that was coming here. So they're going to be able to take that information and share with other citizens in this state. So we thank you, and we thank you. So without further delay, we're going to push on.
So our first speaker for tonight, I'm honored to be introducing the person who runs my organization, who is awesome, the Special Agent in Charge, Mr. Brad L. Byerly.
Good evening. How's everyone doing? Try not to use the mic, so if you can't hear me, just raise your hand. I'll stand a little closer to it. Hey, first and foremost, a lot of people I need to thank really quickly. I want to thank Baton Rouge Police Department for doing this with us, letting us work with you all, and you've been a great partner to do a Citizens Academy with, and I couldn't think of a better partner to actually do a Citizens Academy with. I can't think of a better area for us to have joined forces with Baton Rouge Police Department in doing a Citizens Academy. So thank you and thank your staff for working with my staff and putting this together. And I want to say thank you to my staff for the hard work that went into putting this together over the last, I think it was 8 weeks, hasn't it been? Yes. And I appreciate the hard work that went into that. But first and foremost, though, it's important that I thank you all for attending, for your enthusiasm, for your participation. And I sit in New Orleans. I live in Baton Rouge. I commute every day to New Orleans from Baton Rouge. And this afternoon, I left the office in New Orleans early, so I made sure I didn't get caught in the good Baton Rouge traffic so I could be here to be with you all tonight. And in driving up here today, I was thinking, why is this important? Why is this important? And I bet each of you sitting here have a different answer as to why this is important. But if you'll just give me just a minute, and a lot of you that heard me speak the first night of the Citizens Academy, I'm going to kind of belabor what I already covered that time, and I kind of put in perspective what things look like out on the street right now in our community here. But I'm going to talk to you kind of real quickly at a national level, and then I'm going to tell you why I think this is important. Right now, we're losing 105,000 people per year to drug overdose. 60% of that comes from an opioid type overdose, which is the pills we're seeing out on the street, the counterfeit pills that you've heard us talk about that are laced with the fentanyl. And when we see drug overdoses like that, when we see our communities plagued with drug overdose, you're always going to have violence. You're going to have the shootings. You're going to have the violence that we see, not just here, but what we see from a national level. Right now, we have an operation called Operation Overdrive, and it's where we're working with state and local law enforcement to go after violent crime areas and areas where we're seeing a lot of drug overdoses, where we're seeing statistical data, not just information someone shares with us, but actual data that are showing us where we need to target areas and where we need to apply our resources. And in the New Orleans Field Division, which covers 4 states, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas, we have 5 cities right now that are part of Operation Overdrive. And New Orleans is one, Baton Rouge is one, Little Rock, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and Jackson, Mississippi. So those are 5 of the areas that are part of our Operation Overdrive. The reason I'm telling you this is to show you the level of commitment that we have, DEA, in working with Baton Rouge Police Department, with East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, and the other departments around here to work in this community, not just from a law enforcement perspective or a demand reduction, which is a regulatory side of DEA, but also from a community outreach perspective. We also have our Operation One Pill Can Kill that's going on right now, where we go out and we're targeting the drug trafficking organizations that are polluting our communities with these pills that are laced with fentanyl, these counterfeit pills that are disguised to look like pain medication that you would get from your doctor, but you've got street-level dealers that are selling those pills. They're laced with fentanyl. We have found through our labs that 4 out of 10 of these pills have a lethal dose of fentanyl. So why is this important? Why are you all here? What's our goal here? Well, years ago, I was in the military, and I had the opportunity to hear Colin Powell speak. You're wondering, where am I going with this? One of the things he was talking to, I was with a group of Marines, and he was talking to us about leadership and how to accomplish things and how to get things done. And the thing he said, and I've tried to always apply this when I've been in a leadership position or when I've been working with a group trying to accomplish a goal, the most important thing is trust. If you've got trust, everything else will fall into place. So from my perspective, and I think hopefully you all will agree with me, our goal was to obtain trust. Trust that you all trust us and that you trust what we're doing in the community. Trust between us and trust between you. When I say you, you are representatives of the community, and I think that's so important. And the way you learn to trust someone is that you spend time with them and you get to know them. So in the last 8 weeks, we've gotten to know you, and I think you all have gotten to know us. And I think, without even showing hands, I think you all understand better what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish in our community, in our state, and in our nation. So again, thank you all for the time that you've spent here with us. I know from the feedback I've gotten from my staff, we've enjoyed it. And I heard from some of the role plays and some scenarios, I feel like you all got a lot out of that as well. So again, thank you. Look forward to talking with all of you more tonight. And again, I think we've had a really great and successful Citizens Academy. So thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Deputy Chief Myron Daniels.
Good evening. Let's try that again. Good evening. Good evening. All right. Yeah, I'm that person. I like to feel the energy of those that I'm talking to. So I'll tell you. When I was asked to speak, this was just different for me. This is a different but special moment for me at this time. Why? Because it's a first. And I love all my first. So usually when I address a graduating class, I reflect on, great sacrifices that have been made to get them to that point. And of course, normally I'm talking to a class of cadets who've just went through 20 some odd grueling weeks of training. But with that, I have kind of a standard approach. That standard approach is I would kind of describe the many hours that they put in, and to talk about that sacrifice, those hours that included their physical fitness training, as well as their firearms training, pursuit driving, long hours of studying, because it's a tremendous amount of that goes on during the academy that people don't have a clue about. But we also talk about that scenario training and, of course, tasers. And every time, for whatever reason, we always get a chuckle when the term taser training is mentioned. Me personally, I think it brings back some unique memories to those who participated with it during that time. With that being said, I always move to remind those candidates and give them words of encouragement, and remind that graduating class of their servant hearts and the manner in which all of our citizens deserve to be treated. Because as they step out onto that street, onto those streets, there's a lot of responsibility that goes with it. I often end with some sort of challenge to the class. And I do that even in our promotional ceremonies. I challenge those being promoted. I challenge because we should never be satisfied with that accomplishment. We should always strive for more. But this time, I'm talking to graduates of the Citizens Academy. Again, it's different. And when I think about it, my message and expectations, they really are actually following the same lines. You, too, made great sacrifices to get to this point. A lot of people don't recognize those things, but when you really look at it, you truly did. Number one, you were not being paid, and you were here on a voluntary basis. That, to me, says a lot. It means that for whatever reason you did it, whatever your purpose, whatever it was a purpose that is or was greater than money. And that says that you truly cared about being here. The second part of that, in most cases, you were sacrificing time and other things to be here, which was probably after a full day of work for most of you. So we understand that, again, great sacrifice. Similarly, you were all exposed to training centered around investigations, tactics. You experienced those stressful scenario training that were out there, and tasers. We get the word back. We don't have to be there. The word travels pretty fast. All right? So, graduates of the Citizens Academy, in the end, I have the same expectations for you that I have for our young police officers. And with that, when you leave here tonight, do not forget what you've learned. Just as everybody has said, standing up here, don't forget it. It's important. This profession is one, I guess you could say it could be very complex. It's not always what you think it is or thought it was to be. But my challenge to you is going to be the same challenge that Sergeant McNeely issued to you. I'm challenging you to go out and be in law enforcement ambassadors and ambassadors for public safety as a whole. Now, let me clarify that. I don't expect you to blindly defend police or law enforcement. I don't. But I do ask that you educate all that you can based on your experiences that you've learned throughout this academy. That's all we can ask. That's it. And with that, as ambassadors for the Baton Rouge Police Department, I'm always one as well. So if any one of you are interested in making a career change after going through these weeks of training, we are in the hiring process and we welcome you. We will accept your application gladly. Our standards are high, but we know we will be getting some good people if you did choose to do so. Now, seriously, congratulations. Congratulations. And I, on behalf of Chief Murphy Paul and the Baton Rouge Police Department, I thank you for the sacrifices that you made to participate in this training. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next guest speaker is Councilwoman Ms. Carolyn Coleman.
I say good afternoon. Nope, it's evening time because it's after 5, isn't that right? I say good evening to all of you. And before I get started, Myron, let me tell you, Jeff can't leave me, so I sent him to you for the academy, but he got to come on back to me here. Just wanted to share on behalf of our mayor who's not here tonight and the other council persons that, first of all, the entities that put this together, the Baton Rouge Police Department, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and any other entity. This was brilliance in the making. And so give it up for these people. Give it up for them. And so there were 25 of you that took part in this Citizens Academy. And so with that being said, you've been commissioned to do something. Then understand about an academy. So you're top of the line when you go through an academy. And so that's what you all have done here tonight. So 25 of you have been commissioned to be about the business of what you've been taught, what you've learned. And that means you have a responsibility now. You are the extra eyes and the extra ears for our Baton Rouge finest. And you all know who that is. And so I gotta take a moment here, and I wanna appeal to our parents and grandparents. I would be remiss if I did not say this. And that is, you all heard about the pills. You all heard about all that's out there. I say to you, be the pills. Be the pills for these children. That's what you do. That's your responsibility. And that's very, very important. Now, some of y'all gonna get that tomorrow. Yeah, some of y'all gonna get that tomorrow. You've received much insight. And so it is said, much known, much required. And so you've gleaned from the folk that have come before you information that's gonna be for your good to help you grow and go. And so remember that. And so I say to Lori and Barry and Dolores and Carla and Karen and Shatanda and Richard and Chad and Jeffrey and Christina and Faye and Gloria, Julia and Yaya, I got that, Dennis and Thomasina, Caleb, Kendall, Stacy, James, Latasha, Shantae, Perlina, Gary, and last but not least, Leonard. You are commissioned here tonight to do something. You didn't go through those 8 weeks just to You could have been a whole bunch of other places, but you all are to be commended for what you all have done, and know that you've only just begun. And as they said, it's good to be the first in anything that you go to do. So you can wear that with plenty dignity, that you were the first of the Citizens Academy here tonight. And I say thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for your kind words. So out of the 25 individuals in the class, there were 2 people that was chosen to speak on behalf of the class. So the first person I'm going to introduce to come up to speak is Mr. Richard Cardone.
First off, let me thank my fellow classmates. It was a pleasure getting to meet you and getting to understand the areas of the parish you live in. One thing I want to stress right now, and I thought I knew it, but I didn't know it as much as I do now. Being a part of the first class, people all over East Baton Rouge Parish want to see police officers. Sometimes you hear the negative about police officers. You know, the representative, the Metro Council representative said about being commissioned. I really thought I was commissioned to understand what a police officer has to deal with each and every day. On January 7th of 1973, when the landline rang and my dad had to put on his holster, grab his gun, because we had a serial sniper in downtown New Orleans, a gentleman named Mark Exels. I'll never forget how scared my mother was. I'll never forget how scared I was. Back then, there wasn't any social media. There wasn't any cell phones, good or bad. They just weren't. You didn't know if your husband or your dad was coming home until they walked in the door or your mama received a knock on the door. And my dad always shielded me from that. And I thought I really knew more about what an officer goes through, being a son of a police officer. I didn't know until I went through this academy. I really wish, and I know it's impossible, I really wish every Baton Rouge citizen, East Baton Rouge Parish resident, could go through this academy. If you get the opportunity, you have to do so. I just wish all 12 Metro Council members were here tonight, and the mayor, because I would tell the mayor, and I would look every one of them in the eye and say, don't you dare vote on raises, don't you dare vote on weapons our police officers should carry, don't you dare vote on anything until you go through the academy, because you don't know. I know it's impossible for every resident of East Baton Rouge Parish in the metro area to go through this academy, but if there was physically a way, and if I can raise the funds, I will do it, that every individual has to go through at least one of the 3 shoot, no shoot scenarios. Until you go through that, you don't have a damn clue. Because you know what? I went through the first one, and all my classmates, I was last. And none of us knew what the scenario was. We went one at a time. And the first one, guess what? I had a young lady who blew my head off. And I thought I knew. My dad never shed anything with that. On the second one, I had a man being bludgeoned, being stomped on. And it was a scenario. It's make-believe. I still didn't have what it took to take the assailant's life. I didn't have it. But you know what? When we watch the damn local news and we don't get all the information and they say an unarmed man was shot, you're damn right he was. So please, make sure you know, because I could not pull the trigger. Even though this role player was stomping on this man, he stepped back waiting for me to take action. I still couldn't do it. Because I see the news, I see what these officers have to go through the social media, witness, everything. I can only imagine. When we walked out of our last class, and Chad, who I got to know through the class, and so many of my great classmates, I couldn't talk. And that was just role playing. They said before we went through this that your pulse rate will do this, and it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And literally, I don't think Bryce is here tonight. Is Bryce here? I don't think Bryce. Bryce is one of our classmates who may become an officer. So I was the last one. Bryce was walking down the hall, and I'm going, Bryce, how was it, everything? He wouldn't talk, and I'm going, what's going on? I didn't know. Then I knew. domestic disturbance. What's impacting our parish more than anything right now? Domestic disturbances. So we're in this role play. I got a woman over here saying she wants us no good, you know what, out. She's over there, all right, man, calm down. And you know, in your head, being raised by my dad, it's always, your woman never walks curbside. You better open the door, I'm gonna put a foot up your behind. So I'm worried about her, assuming. But an officer can't do that. Then all of a sudden, when I think I got her calmed down, here he is over here, then he's starting to vent. Well, I'm trying to make sure that he doesn't get to her. As I address her, him, she's got a gun that was right there on the table and blew me away. But you don't think of those things. And you know what? That was just role playing. And when I got home, emotionally, I was done. And that could have been one officer's morning. One officer's morning. And they got to deal with that each and every day. And you know, in this class, we learned that the number one killer of police officers is suicide. Dealing with that. Then when you go home, you got to realize your wife had a bad day. And then guess what? Then your son is on suspension from school. And then guess what? Your daughter's thinking she's pregnant. No, but think about all of these scenarios. And for an officer to have to deal with that, and I'm just a guy who gets on the radio and tries to have a little fun, I thought I knew more about policing because my dad was a police officer, but he shielded me from it. You got to go through this class, man. It was so humbling. It was so informative. I've always been a spokesperson for the police department, but I hope the mayor makes every Metro Council member take this class. Because when you're voting on things that are going to impact an officer and his family's life, you got to know what they go through each and every day. And I can't thank the Baton Rouge Police Department enough, Don and Sergeant McNeely, and I don't want to leave out anybody, but everybody at the academy. And you know, you learn things like, do you realize the Baton Rouge Police Department, they go through almost double the training that's mandated by the state of Louisiana? Do you realize when they go to the shooting range, what's required of them is so much more than is required for all the other police jurisdictions in the state? It's an amazing group of men. It's an amazing group of women. So I don't want to take too much time, but it was very humbling. But man, these 12 members that decide what's good or bad for police officers, they need to go through the class so they really can do it the right way and understand what it takes to be a Baton Rouge police officer. And I want to thank all my classmates. I love you. Anytime I see you, I want to get a hug. And everybody's been great. I want to thank the Drug Enforcement Agency. They were so informative. And one final thing, every time I see somebody now at a restaurant or at a convenience store and they take in, you know, a little pack of sugar or whatever, or a sweetener, you know where I'm going, and put it in their coffee and tea, I'm just a strange dude walking up to him with an New Orleans accent. Do you realize there's enough, if that was pure fentanyl, there's enough in there to make 250 million packs. So again, everybody involved, I don't want to leave out any names, but you know who you are. And I think I got the opportunity to speak for my entire class and my classmates. Love you, love the Baton Rouge Police Department, love the DEA for everything they do to protect the streets and our community. So God bless them.
That was awesome. Thank you so much. It's funny because you guys know when Rich came in, Rich was hard. He was like, man, no. But it's amazing and it's awesome, and we appreciate you saying those kind words, because that's all we want is for people to know what we deal with on a daily basis. So without further ado, the next speaker is going to be Miss Perlina Thomas.
Good evening, and thank you all for being here, and thank you all for all the families that supported us through being here with the Citizens Academy. This was an incredible opportunity, and a lot of what Rich said was so true, and I want to have that much passion in my delivery. And one thing I want to make sure that we recognize as this inaugural class, and as Councilmember Coleman mentioned, it's important to be first, but we were chosen. There were a number of applicants that Dr. Faulkner and Sergeant McNeely had to tell no, and they received a lot of nasty emails as a result of it. So we were chosen, and we need to make sure that we carry that with pride and that we figure out how we can be better community partners based on this experience. There were a number of scenarios that we thought, or a number of feelings that we had coming into it, some biases, that I believe that this experience changed us all forever because of it. This academy was the closest that we will ever come to walking in other people's shoes. And so let's take a moment and give all of those, all of our law enforcement agencies a round of applause. And we don't say it enough, but thank you. Thank you so much for your service. It makes me think of times, now that I see the news, some of the things that we learned through the DEA and reading an article where a 12-year-old died handling his father's drug paraphernalia because it was laced with fentanyl. He had no idea. Those things, they ring differently now. And when you read that, you look at things differently, you see things differently. Read an article where there were 16 shootings in Orleans Parish this weekend. 6 people are dead. Those things feel differently now. Now that we've had a chance to work with and see and actually have time to talk to the officers that handle the violence crime unit, I'd like us to make sure that we are challenging ourselves to be better community partners. I'm so excited about the opportunity that 14 of our 25 classmates decided to be a part of our After Actions report. And thank you, Councilmember Coleman, for allowing us to meet at the community center. When we're ready to put that report together, we're now gathering all the worksheets and information from people who were involved. But that report is going to be so important to the Baton Rouge Police Department, because we're going to use that to see what programs we can do beyond this Citizens Academy. We are committed to being great community partners. What can we do? I think that Rich said it best with having all of the Metro Council members, the mayor's office, having these people who have to make these decisions, because we're asking officers to be more educated. We're asking them to continue education. We're asking them to be social workers. We're asking them to do a number of things, but we're not standing up next to them and standing with them when it's time for us to pay them what they're worth. If we want that from them, then we need to pay them what they're worth. We shouldn't pay them like they're custodians, and nothing against custodians, but we should think about that. When we're ready to, now that we've had this experience, now that we've had a chance to see, now that our perspectives are completely changed, what can we do as a part of this community to make the community better? And I want to take a moment to make sure that we acknowledge those that were tased. So if you were tased, if you could stand up for a minute, I think, come on, you rode the lightning, stand up. So to make sure that we capture that moment, the picture that we took afterwards, I framed it for you, so I have that for you. And I'm just so excited about what this means. I'm excited about the idea that we can create a junior Citizens Academy. We have to capture these children. We have to capture them. We have to be the pill. And I understand exactly what you were saying, Councilmember Coleman, but we have to do that. We have to be purposeful in our actions and how we can make this community better. How can we stand next to them? How can we stand up for them? And it brought to mind a quote from Dr. King, and I had to write it down, make sure I say it the right way, but the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in the times of challenge and controversy. When we're seeing that 7-second video, that 15-second video, 30-second video, when we're seeing that on the evening news, are we going to say to our neighbors and our families and our friends and those people who post things on social media, are we going to say, let's get the whole story? Are we going to stand next to those officers? We had an officer that works with the Violent Crimes Unit that was very clear, and he said it comes with parenting. He was a white man. Are we going to stand in a majority black community, are we going to stand next to that white man and allow him to say that because he's just had to pick up a baby that was in a suitcase? Are we going to stand with him and allow him to say it's parenting? It's on us. It's on us to be the difference. So I feel like I brought the room down. That was not my intention. But This class meant so much. It meant so much to actually see what other people go through and to understand that we have a task to do. If we want our community to be better, if we don't want Baton Rouge to be that headline that New Orleans was this last weekend, if we want to see our future be as great as what we've invested in them, then we have to take the challenge. And thank you all so much. It was great. I love all of you. We're going to be together for a very long time because we're going to make sure that these programs and the things that we know that I believe will come from our After Actions report, we're going to make sure that those things are facilitated and that they're successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Okay, so without further ado, we are going to graduate the first Citizens Academy of 2022. So when I call your name, could you please come up and get your certificate? Are you ready? Lori S. Anderson. Okay. Kayla D. Burgess. Sorry. Karen Casey didn't come down. Shatonda. Shatonda K. Chandler.
You all know they make noise at graduation. Like you at church. You all know they scream at graduation.
Richard J. Cardone. Capola, right? Capola. Chad J. Capola. Jeffrey D. Corbin.
Come on, Jeff, that's District 10. District 10. Yes, sir.
All right. Faye Ferdinand. Gloria Harness.
Thank you.
Yaya Asa. Yes, Jones.
Yay. Thank you.
Dennis C. Jones, Jr. Thomasina W. Joseph.
Thank you.
Stacy Rutherford. Did Kendall, is that Kendall? No, right? Who's the lady up next to her? Is that Kendall? What's her name? Shantae L. Thomas. She came in late. Stacy.
Thank you.
James W. Scott Jr., Senior.
Thank you.
Latasha M. Scott. Okay.
You good, just don't step on my toes.
All right. Perlina Thomas. Mr. Triplet. Gary Triplett.
No, they gonna get you.
I know. Yes.
That's it, when you say you got your people with you.
Yes, he does. I'll get some afterwards. I'll take some more.
And last but not least, Leonard R. Williams.
So y'all don't leave, we're gonna take an after picture after we finish with everything. Okay, let's just let everybody go.
Was there anyone in the academy class that came in late that we did not get to? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
All right, what do you say? I'm feeling like Carol Burnett
Yeah.
on the Carol Burnett show. You know how she says good night to everybody and pulls her ear? I'm feeling like Leslie Burnett. Y'all, thank y'all. I know I hate calling names because when you call names, you always miss some, but everyone from DEA. Supervisor Ogden came in late. We missed him on the show, but he's been on the show, on the run with us. So I want to just shout out to him. And everybody, y'all, you really look so nice.
Hold on, I'm gonna shout out to all our guys. You know,
Yes.
we got the firearms instructors, got academy
Yes.
staff, got Lieutenant Don Capola. Y'all come show your face, because they was instrumental in the shoot, don't shoot. They were instrumental in the firearms training. Actually, the shoot, don't shoot was our grand finale. So, you know, we wanted to be sure we put that at the end, because that was gonna be the thing that quenched the heart, and that's gonna raise your blood, and the hormones get dumped. So that's gonna be something that you take home. How many of y'all went home thinking about that night? Everybody, we know that for a fact. Now, again, with your family members and those that you want to go through the class, we're having one in the fall. So be sure to reach out to us to let us know. We're gonna be putting informationals out towards the end of the summer, because we wanna give everybody enough time to be able to put their applications in. But you're part of our family, so you can reach out to us direct. And you can put individuals in there who you feel will be part of making a difference and a change for your community. For your community. It's very important, very important.
And last but not least, I want to thank Francinia Henry on the side there. Yeah, and also Phaedra Mitchell for coming through. I'm telling you all, everybody always say, Leslie, you did such a great job. I'm telling you guys, I couldn't do it by myself. I have a backup crew that back me up. I do. Everybody thinks I'm doing this, by miracle. LA back there, just lots of people that never get their names called. I get to hear mine a lot, but I'm thanking them, myself personally, because I know how it feels when I hear my name, so I like to hear, just say their name. Say my name.
Yeah.
So I said their names.
Say my name.
So thank you all. I can clown. But we're going to take some after pictures. Okay. I meant it like the real nice way, saying my name. Always somebody got to read into it more than it is.
But to add to that, you see the love that we have? This is the love that we had in the classroom.
Yes.
This is the love that we had amongst all of us. Being able to share, being able to communicate, being able to talk about our differences, being able to talk about our feelings, the way that we see things, the way that we look at things, and then coming to some common ground. So that's what this is all about. So thank you again.
In the words of a special student, she knows she's special, Lori Anderson, you'll never get rid of me.
Yeah. She did say
She
that.
told me that, so I don't know if that's a stalker line, but I'm just saying. She sends me prayers and stuff, so I'm grateful for that,
Yes.
but, you know,
Yes.
we hope to never get rid of
Yes.
anyone. Thank you, Lori, for that. All right, everyone.
All right.
Oh, my gosh, I forgot her name. Special Agent Harness also for him. He was behind the scenes. You probably never saw him, but he was doing some things also. So don't want to mention his name and leave him out. He's here. So thank him as well. So everyone, if I missed you, I didn't mean to, but I love you. Say good night.
Yeah, good night. Y'all be safe home. On the ride home.
We're going to send a link out. Yes. Please, all our graduates, come on up. Come on up.
Yes.
We're gonna send you guys a link in the email.
Yes. We'll take one with your fancy, nice camera.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. I got people.
I was gonna say, could he get in between those two, like in the middle, when she stands up? Yeah. Yeah, can he switch right there?
I'm gonna have to pull them in a little bit. My hands
That's
are-
good, Tan, that's good.
I need